Hi guys, and welcome back to this journey towards excellent exam results. In these shorter revision videos, we are going to be breaking down different concepts within the GCSE geography specification. The aim of this is to help us understand the concepts better and to give us the information and confidence we need to answer exam questions. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Esther Boserup's and Thomas Malthus's theories on an increasing population versus resources. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so who is right in the population versus resource theories? It has been argued that by 2030, the world will be running out of resources. This has been described as the perfect storm where the available resources will not be sufficient to support the resident population. So there are two views that have been put forward to suggest what is likely to happen. And the first one is the Malthusian view. So Thomas Malthus' view was that the population will grow to the point where it outstrips the food supply. So in other words, the population will grow too fast for the food supply to keep up. So there will be a shortage of food. He said that this would lead to a crisis and population would fall as a result. And that would be mainly due to wars, starvation, and famine. Now, this is a negative or pessimistic view and is shown on the graph here by the blue line. Okay, so that's a blue line there. And you also have a red line here that is showing the population growth. Now you can see that initially it's growing fairly slowly. Then it gets to a point where it's growing exponentially. Now he said that for a time, that population growth will be supported by the food supply or the resources that are available. And you can see that is what is happening until we get to this point here, which is what he refers to as a crisis point. And that is the point at which the population growth will outstrip the food supply as well as the resources that are available. And at that time, he said or suggested that the population would fall as a result of wars, obviously, like we said, famine and drought. Okay, famine and starvation, excuse me. And then we have a second view, which is the Boserupian view. Now, this view was by Esther Boserup, who was a Danish economist. So she suggested that as the population grows, humans will think of innovative ways to increase food production. Now, 5 of the new farming technologies that she suggested are shown on the graph that we have here. And her view is a positive view or an optimistic view. Okay, and is shown here by the green line. Okay, now some of the farming technologies, new farming technologies that she suggested are shown here, and we'll go through them one by one. So crop rotation, we had talked about this earlier, which is where you farm one piece of land, a plot of land rather, for 5 to 6 years. Then after that 5 to 6 years, you move on to a new plot of land, and then you farm it for another 5 to 6 years. And at that time, you will be giving the first plot of land enough time to recover its nutrients and to regrow. So that is sustainable, and that will obviously help with food production. Then we also have irrigation, and irrigation is where we artificially water our crops. So instead of relying on the rainfall, like a lot of communities do, we artificially water those crops so as to increase food production. So that's another way of adapting to this increasing population. Okay. Then thirdly, we have farm machinery. So the use of farm machinery will make farming a lot more efficient. It will make it a lot faster and efficient, obviously, and you will be able to farm huge tracts of land and therefore grow a lot more food. And that will be a way of adapting to the population increase that is taking place. Then we have the use of fertilizers. Now, fertilizers are an artificial way of adding nutrients to the soil. So for example, you may have fertilizers that add ammonia to the soil, for example, and that will increase food production. And as that happens, you obviously will end up with enough food for this population that is rapidly growing. Then we have GM crops. These are genetically modified crops, and these types of crops are genetically modified such that they can grow in conditions that they would ordinarily not grow in. That obviously will mean a spike in food production again, and that is going to help with this rapidly increasing population. Okay, then we also have a third argument here, or a final part of the debate, and that final part of the debate is quality rather than quantity. So this one suggests that it will be a lower quality of the resources available and not the quantity that will lead to a crisis. So the examples that are being given here include water resources that are unusable due to pollution. Now we know that as the population increases, there's a lot more air pollution, there's a lot more water pollution. So here the suggestion is that the water available will be unusable due to that pollution. And then there will be infertile soils due to erosion. So because of cutting down trees and exposing the soils, there will be a lot more erosion and the soils will be a lot more infertile and therefore will not be able to support crop growth or plant growth. Okay, then oil and gas will also run out, and we will revert to using coal, which is dirtier, which is going to pollute a lot more, because we know that coal produces, out of the three fossil fuels, the coal is the one that produces the most carbon dioxide and emits it obviously into the atmosphere. So this here is a third layer to these arguments here that we have. Now, I'd like you to think about who you think here is correct. Do you think that the Boserupian view is the one that is likely to play out, or is it the Malthusian view you think is likely to play out? That brings us to the end of this video on the theories on population versus resources. I hope that you have found the information insightful and useful. I have also done a video covering the whole of topic 7 on people and the biosphere. It will pop up as one of the suggested videos at the end of this one and can also be found in the People and the Biosphere playlist. Videos on all the other subtopics within this topic are also in the playlist. There is also a playlist for the next topic, which is forests under threat. Thanks once again for joining in this journey towards excellent exam results. All the best and see you again soon. Bye-bye.